Well, we've moved on to the home of Larry and Susan Beck, and this is just a wonderful shady area here. And Larry, we really appreciate you inviting us and showing us around your water
Thanks,
garden.
Brenda. Welcome to our garden.
So this is just beautiful. Now, what were you trying to achieve when you started building your water garden?
Well, one of the things that we were trying to do was to create an ecosystem, that much like what you could find in eastern Kake County or Osage County, when it's raining and there's some water running over the rocks.
Right.
So we tried to create that here in our backyard.
Well, it is very pretty. The sound is very nice. Now, as part of that, you've got kind of like a little spring-fed waterfall.
Yes, that was the goal, and maybe with a little more force than a spring, but certainly to get the water sound and to get that look.
Now, but you've actually got more than just a tube at the top of this waterfall, haven't you?
Yes, I took a stock feeder tank and used that for my upper pond, and my pump goes into that so that you get a more natural flow into the waterfall.
So, well, it really is a nice effect. Now, you've got another area here where you've got water coming in, and this is also very nice too.
Well, thank you. That's our bog, and I added that onto the pond, and it really helps to with the water clarification system, and it also lets you have water plants outside of the pond so the fish leave them alone. And so I actually have a small pump that runs into that, and it's amazing how much it adds to the water filtration.
Well, that's good. Your water is very clear. Do you have any problems at all with it?
Oh, some, but I've built a biological filter that's really very simple that anyone can do, and you can really save an awful lot of money by doing that yourself.
So, now, you talk about saving money. Was that something that you wanted to do with this garden?
That was something that I really wanted to do because when I first started looking at water gardens, you know, the expense and the work and that type of thing, I was really afraid of.
Oh, right.
And didn't want to spend several $1,000s on filter systems. And so I built mine for about $50.
Oh,
and that's something anyone can do.
Oh, cool. Can we take a look at it?
Sure.
Great.
Brenda, well, this is not the most attractive part of the pond, but it certainly is functional.
Oh, yes, it's important, isn't it?
It really is. This is a biological filter that I built out of a 50-gallon drum. It's a plastic drum, and it's set up so that the pump circulates about a third of the water of the pond through it an hour, and then dumps it back into the pond.
So, now, what do you have in your drum?
There's an empty space at the bottom, an empty water chamber, and then there's about 2/3 of lava rock that the water filters up through, and then it returns back to the pond through this return.
Okay. All right.
And the water hyacinths work on keeping the water clear also, and the roots filter out a lot of the impurities in the water, and the fish leave it alone that way. They're in the barrel and not in the pond so that they're not messing with them.
Right. And you pretty much, this is taking care of your algae problem.
Yes. You know, I don't understand the science about it, but the algae grows in this biological filter and not in the pond, and our water stays very clear.
Oh,
we're quite pleased with it.
Now, how much did this whole system cost you?
About $50.
Oh, that's
and
really
I was able
good.
to put it together with various plumbing parts, and it's very simple.
Well, great. Now, you were talking about some of the fish in your pond. You've actually got a way that you have your plants outside of the main pond.
Yeah, for two reasons. One is that koi love to mess in plants, and so we've moved off the property, or at least off the pond, and done little mini ponds to do other water plants in.
Well, I noticed there's one right over here.
Yes.
Now, what have you got growing in here?
This is a lotus, and unfortunately it bloomed on the second.
We missed it.
So, but there's the pod.
It looks like a watering can.
But something that you can do with this is simply one of the plastic utility buckets that you can buy at the store, and you can, even someone that didn't want to have a pond could have a lotus in their yard by doing it with this method. And the lotus has been there for 3 years now.
Oh, it
and
is.
It's quite happy.
And it overwinters right there. Do you do anything to it?
No, I don't do anything to it.
Wow.
And so it's just it's real happy there. And from a design standpoint, you don't have it in the pond, so you don't have the height to deal with, but you still get to enjoy the water plant, and the fish aren't messing with it and getting dirt into the pond. So we've been really pleased with that.
That is really good. Well, Larry, I think you guys have achieved your goal. This is a beautiful setting out here.
Well, thank you, Brenda. It's really been great having you here. It's a super place to spend a hot summer afternoon.
It is, and we appreciate you inviting us over.
Thanks.
We hope you've enjoyed this classic from the Oklahoma Gardening Vault. Remember, even though these tips and techniques are timeless, there's always something new to learn in the world of gardening. By subscribing to both Oklahoma Gardening and OK Gardening Classics, you'll have access to a wealth of gardening knowledge, both classic and contemporary.